What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. Alright, so I know this is a little weird to be doing it on a Thursday, but usually we do the market watch on a Wednesday. But I do want to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing the market watch every other week, because it seems like every week the prices don't really change, so I'm going to do it every other week. So when we get into that week, it'll probably be on release week or something like that, but we'll definitely be doing it every other week from now on further. All right, but today we're going to be looking at the set 4 pricings. We're not going to look at everything, obviously, this week because, we'd be sitting here looking at each individual card. But we're going to look at some key things. We're going to look at this nice, beautiful golden Lelouch leader that people are looking for, pulling out of cases. And then we're going to look at Israfil, all these key parts for these different decks, and see how much they cost. Alright, and we have the Lelouch Lamprouz, the anime collab Code Geass Golden Signature Leader. So I'm very excited to talk about this card because, man oh man, people are trying to pull this card, and this is selling for a hefty buck. Like, this is a lot of money to be spending on a leader. If you have the money, then go ahead and shell out on it, and if you pulled it out of your case, then the best of luck to you because you pulled a very expensive leader. But one other thing I want to talk about is I feel like right now we're still in a bit of like the hype prices because it's like the week after, set 4 came out. Set hasn't been out 7 days, so give it some time. Prices are definitely going to drop. If you're really playing competitively and you want to get some practice in, go ahead and buy these cards. Obviously, these are things you don't need. These are just cosmetics, of course. So if you want to spend the money for it, spend your money how you want it. If you pulled it, then good luck to you. If you want to sell it, flip it. Right now is a good time to be doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the other prices for the Lelouch Gold Signature. So he's sitting around $750. It looks like you're just going to be shelling out $700. I don't feel like this card is going to stay at that price, but we're in hype meta right now, or hype prices, whatever you want to call them. It's just really literally the week after, so give it some time. It'll probably go down. It says the market price is $380. We really won't know that until things finally settle down with set 4. All right, so we're going to fly through these other leaders. We have C2 going for around $400. So she's sitting at like $420, $450, $400. Listed median's going to be like $273. Like I said, that'll definitely change, but we will see what the other leaders have in store. All right, and then we have the regular Lelouch without the signature. Obviously, there's going to be a huge drop off in price. You see a $400 difference, but it seems like the market price is going to be around $196. That's not bad. $280 looks like where he's at right now, and then $300 and below is like the highest. So pretty good for Lelouch. So let's see what he goes to in the future. All right, for our sword players, we have Suzaku. He's sitting at around 116, 118 for a market price, and then the medium price is interesting at 122. I guess that's along with some shippings and stuff like that, but yeah, sitting there 160 and below is probably what he's going to be sitting at, maybe probably even $100 in the future. And then we have Cornelia looking as beautiful as ever. I already copped mine. I had to make sure I had got mine like day 1 as soon as they released it because I am a Rune player at heart and I will always be playing Rune. And going into the future, once Kuon comes out, I'm going to be rocking this leader. So she's sitting at around 103 right now. That's the market price, but 105 is the price that she's being sold at. And then different prices vary. I did see her at like 99 a couple of days ago, and I was like, man, I wish I'd waited. But right now, it's just hype price. And if you want to get this leader, obviously in the Japanese version, I think she goes for like $25. So eventually when the sets come out, she'll be really, really cheap along with these other leaders, I believe, besides the gold signature because, it's the signature card. But this is one of the cards that I am taking close to heart. So be prepared. If you fight against me, I'm going to be using this leader. All right, we can't forget about Colleen. So I think this is one of the least rarer leaders besides the other rune leader that came out. I think this is the one that goes along with it. I think there's another Dragoncraft one. I can't remember the guy's name, but we're going to look at him next. I think he's more common than Colleen. But Colleen's sitting at $162.95. That's not bad. The market price is having her at $137.59. Then looking at it below, seems like she's going to be below 180, which isn't too bad. So I think this isn't one of the rarer leaders, but this is still a nice one to have if you're a dragon player. All right, so if you are a Haven player, then you're definitely winning in terms of leader. Your new leader's pretty cheap. If you like Charles E. Britannia, I know he wasn't a huge fan favorite since he looks like a big wig, but this besides that, he's sitting around $57, and that's not bad. Market price has him at 61, and median's going to be 60, so he's going to be around the $60 mark for high prices and low prices. So not bad for Haven players. All right, and we're starting to get into more of the common leaders. We have Lee, He's definitely one of the cards that you want to be rocking. I feel like he would be more recognizable as a sword leader since he has the sword and he used the sword so well in the anime. But hey, I'm not the creators, so they put it in Dragoncraft. That's cool. But he's sitting at around $50, 54 for median and market price. So looking at these other prices, this is where it's going to sit at. He's actually being sold for more than 54. On the bottom of the list, you can see he's going for 125. But this is more of a common leader. You'd probably be easier like pulling this leader out of a pack, sometimes just buying boxes, you might actually pull this leader. So it's more common than you think. All right, and then we have like the most common one I can think of is Jeremiah. I think this guy was a simp when I watched him in the anime. He really had loyalty for like different people. He has served his purpose. He just served his purpose. Watch the anime if you haven't, but if you have, then you know what I'm talking about, guys. But he's sitting at $45. That's not bad. $50, like I said, it's like a common leader. My guy that sells me stuff literally had pulled like 4 of them while I was looking for the Cornelia one. And the Cornelia one is very rare, so I can understand why she's sitting at 100 and he's sitting at 50. Market price and median are still both around the same, just a $4 difference. But $45, 50, 70 if it even gets to that, 75 for shipping is really what he's standing at. So that's not that bad. And that's all the leaders. So let's go ahead and get into the core pieces. All right, so we're gonna move into Giant Chimera. So ProPlay Games is selling them for $8. I think this is fair, but remember that we're still in hype prices right now because we're not even a week in. But it looks like market price is going for around $6. Median is $7, so that's where it's gonna hover around $6, $7, $8. That's what it looks like for Giant Chimera. Let's see what the other legendaries are doing. All right, and we have Mars Silent Flame General. So she's sitting at around $9, $10. Looks like the market price is having her at $8. That's what she might stay at. But it looks like she's sitting at around $9, $10. The fact you can Evo her for free is pretty amazing. So let's see what the Evo is standing at. All right, so we have the Mars Evo, and she's sitting at around $6. Market price is having her at $6.25. Around $6 is not too bad for an Evo. A little expensive, but we don't know if the officers are going to be good or not, but at the same time, we are still in hype price. So probably maybe the week after, she might be sitting at around $5, maybe even $3. So let's see what happens in the future. All right, so where are my Abyss players at? So we have Howling Demon. So I've been hearing lots of talks about this card. Is it good to be putting into aggro Abyss? You can also put it into control. I think this is a good card all around for Abyss, but he's sitting around $7, $8. Market price has him at $6.65, $7 for medium price. So looking at the listings, he's like below $8. So let's see what this Evo looks like. All right, so we have the Evolved, and he's sitting at around $2. Market price has him at $4, and medium price is $5. Pretty interesting. So he's looking like a little bit less than $5. That's pretty nice, but you got to add in the shipping to everything. So he's going to be around $5, $6 for a pair. I'm not sure how many you would run in a deck. I'm not into decks right now. I'm in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber trying to get my stuff together. So let's look at some other cards. All right, so next up we have Aether of the White Wing. So this is a pretty interesting card for Havencraft. I believe it belongs in the Heal Amulet version. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look at a list when we do our little Inverse Academy episode. But I feel like this card is going to be very good when paired up with Heavenly Aegis. So looking at her price, she's sitting at around $4, $5 with shipping. Market price has her at $5, median is $6. So I don't see any difference in that going up unless, you go for a later listing or like an earlier listing where she's super expensive. But I think $5 is pretty fair for her. You don't need too many of her. It'll be too clunky if you run too many. But the fact that you can rock this card, especially with Statute Seraph, later down the line, if you want to test it out and wait for the high prices to go down, I see this being like a $2 card. All right, so next up we have Cassiopeia, and finally Forcecraft has a board wipe of some sort. Just the amount of cards that you have in your hand, you can definitely do it by either 7 or 8, or if you're even lucky by drawing enough cards, maybe 9, which will be pretty awesome. So she's sitting at around $4, $4.51 for the market price, $5. I don't see her going down because the fact that Forcecraft got some sort of a board wipe, just go ahead and remove 2 followers or maybe even 3. I feel like she'll definitely sit at $5. This is a card that's just very good for Forcecraft, especially if you're rocking King Elephant. So good for Cassiopeia. Speaking of King Elephant, there's an elephant we do need to address in the room. All right, so y'all really thought I was going to talk about King Elephant. No, we're going to talk about Israfil. So Israfil is one of those cards that's going to be good in those control decks. I can see it being played in Haven for the heal, and it's being played in Abyss just so you can get it back and get cheated out on turn 6 for the Death's Breath. So the fact that you can heal, and then when she strikes and deals damage to the entire board, and then she has such crazy stat lines, just being a 10/10 on Evolve. But looking at her price, she's around $19, $20, adding tax to it. So $20 for the market price and then $25 for median. So it looks like she's going to be a $20 card. But yet again, we have hype prices. So let's see what that Evo looks like. Yeah, it seems like Israfil is the card that you need to get. She's sitting at around $15 just already. And then that's the market price for herself and then the median. So this is a hyped $15 card. I can see it going down to $10 because she might not see super play that much, but I'm not sure. Abyss seems to be rolling with her in turn 6. If you don't have that spot on removal, it's going to feel really bad. But $15 for an Evo, we're looking at a little bit of like an Alice situation because Alice was super expensive. Israfil only goes in like certain decks. She doesn't make like decks work like Alice, so she won't be as expensive, but Israfil is still a good card to have. Alright, so we're going to talk about Leviathan Dragon before we close out with our other stuff. So I'm not sure if Leviathan Dragon's going to be good at all, because last set he didn't really see too much play, but at the same time we're in a very different meta than JP, so we're really crafting our own sort of meta since we have team tournaments and whatnot. But looking at his price, he's sitting at around $3, you know, that's set 4. Might be hype price. He might not be a $4 card. I'm not a huge Dragoncraft player. I'm sorry I can't give you all the information you need about dragons, but I'm not a big dragon person. So he is sitting around $4. Let's look at what the other version of the Leviathan Dragon is at. And it seems like the other form is just going to sit at $2. They have him at $3 for market price, but I can already see that he's not going to be a super expensive card since he's not already expensive right now. But the fact he has Ward is pretty cool. But at the same time, I don't know what kind of meta we're going to be in because, you know, the next BFS that comes up might make these prices go up. Alright, so we're finally here in set 4. We have our anime collab. So a box goes for less than $65. Market price has it as $60, like around 60, and the median has it at 60 as well. So shout out to being in set 4. We made it, guys. We have our anime collab. I'm glad we have it. So if you don't already have your stuff and you like to gamble, this is how much a box is, and that's it. Well, alright guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You don't know how much it means to me that you guys are very patient with me and still here with me. I love you guys. If I didn't, I don't think I posted the link to the post for what we're doing for Inverse Academy. It looks like we're gonna have to move it into next week because I need to do some more info gathering because I do not want to talk and say the wrong thing to you guys. I do not want to spread any misinformation. I want to make sure I know what I'm saying before I start saying it. So, alright guys, make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. 'Cause I've been longing for you.